What's up, y'all? Welcome back to The Creative Process. We are processing art, faith, and culture through a creative lens. And I have a friend of mine that we've actually been friends for years and years and years.
Couple decades.
And it's beautiful to see how this is actually full circle moment for the both of us. And y'all help me welcome Andrea, Vocab Sanderson.
Hello. What camera am I looking at? Which one?
Any of the three. Yeah,
I'm gonna look at the furthest, the one most awkward one to look at. Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
that was yours. If you ever want to speak to the audience, that's you, me, us, right there.
Thank you, Jarrell Flowers. For having me.
I am really excited because we have had quite a history.
We go back.
Quite a history.
We go back, y'all.
And so
it's good times. It's good times.
Yeah, we're talking 18 years old.
That's how old we were when we met each other. 18, 19.
Yeah.
Not 18 years back. That's how old we were. Now we have reached new decades in our lives.
That's right. And so we were actually, fun fact, we were in different hip hop crews. And so I back in the day, I started a group called Resurrected Soldiers, talk about some of that in my music. And you were in a group as well. You would talk about the group.
Sure. I was in a group called Lyrically Spiritually Committed Ministries, or LSC Ministries. And we had our heyday in the early 2000s. I mean, the beginnings of the 2000s, Y2K compliant. So we made it through.
Yeah.
And we're the only two still rapping from all of the people that we've been in groups with. We're the only. Why are we still rapping? We don't know. We just do it. God said do it. We do it.
Look, if you have a skill, you just keep at it.
Yeah. Stay in your. I have a lane, and I know that my lane, and I stay in it.
Yeah. I don't. Right now there's this whole thing about age and it. Are you supposed to be rapping at a certain age or doing all? And I'm like, if God gave me the gift, I'm just going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And if whatever happens, happens. I am kind of evolving as an artist, and I'm excited about that journey. But I'm like, I got skills, and I'm gonna just do what I do.
Yeah. So I will say this. It's one thing if you're still rapping, but you're not contributing. But we are contributing. We mentor. We do artist development.
Yeah.
We share the knowledge and the gifts, and we open doors and share our platforms. And if you're sharing your platform, then it's okay to be rapping in your 40s. It's perfectly okay. And it's not the only thing that we do. And we challenge ourselves, and we find ways to innovate. Now, I have a problem with people. Let's talk about the secular world for a minute. Okay. I have a problem with people who are in their 50s and they still in the club and they still rapping about the club.
It's what are we doing?
What are you doing? As you evolve, I expect that in your 40s, you're rapping about something different from what you were rapping about in your 20s. Yeah. That's all I ask.
Well, I feel like the rap genre itself, you have to think, people have been listening to rap for, what are we talking, 50 years?
Yes. Hip hop turned 50.
Yeah. And so it is a solidified genre, and it's okay, it's a genre now. So you can have people from all ages, all walks of life doing this thing.
Absolutely.
And
nobody balks at people doing jazz music in their 60s. Nobody's like, oh, you're 60 and you're still playing the trumpet? No. Yeah. Do it.
Yeah. And I think it's just it forces us to open our eyes to different perspectives. And, because when you have a young genre, then you have young mindsets, right? But as it gets old, as the genre itself gets old and there's more people that are in it,
absolutely,
you're going to have people from different walks of life and different mindsets and different journeys in life. Some people are still, doing their living their best life in their 16s, 17s, 18s, and some of us have a more mature perspective about stuff and all of that, and neither one of those things are bad, right? It's just there's got to be room for both, I think. That's how we grow as a genre, and just generationally too. Anything good is multi-generational. Anything that's going to last is multi-generational. Yeah.
And hip hop has outlasted so many things that kind of went dormant. Genres that were alive in the 70s when it started. People aren't really rolling with disco like that anymore. There are a few people trying to make music that sounds reminiscent of disco, but that genre, that subgenre itself has pretty much tapered off. So I think it's great that this genre has flourished and evolved and kind of kicked some other stuff out the way. It was like, pew, 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 move over that, pew, pew, pew. Made room, sat down, took up a whole lot of space.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing to do it. So how are things, friend?
Things are going. What's been going on with me and my family?
Health journeys, yeah.
Yes.
We're as we get older, that we start paying more attention. And I wish I could talk to my 20-year-old self and be like, "Hey, put that cupcake down. Get up and go for a walk." You know, because when you're younger, your parents tell you not to eat certain things and do certain things. We like, whatever. I'm finna eat this chicken at 3 a.m. That's fine to me. It's healthy. It's great. It's not.
It's not.
And I'm not saying that's the concern there, but I'm just saying there are things that we can do along the way in life that can help us by the time we get a little older to offset some of these conditions that are genetic and hereditary and just acquired. Yeah.
Vocab, I think people know you in the city for being queen of poetry here in the city. And you're just amazing. You've been a lyricist since I've known you, and it's just really cool to see how you went into like from hip hop to spoken word. And I don't really remember you doing a lot of spoken word when we were, back then, although you always had that, you're away with words. But I think for me, I want people to get kind of a glimpse of, they see a vocab online, but maybe not, they don't know the backstory, right? And so,
sure.
What was your growing up like?
So I'm a church kid, for real. I'm also a military brat. We share that in common.
Sure, yeah.
And my mother is a minister. My dad's a deacon. I grew up when my parents, when they got divorced and my mom got into a new relationship, things changed in the home, the environment changed, situations changed. I threw myself into artistic practices as escape, and I was always busy in my church in auxiliaries, right? And so the hip hop came about through church, and I let it spill into school. So by the time I got to my senior year in high school, I was doing school concerts, organizing events, right? We were talking the other day about the catacombs right out of going into the early 2000s. Like I was doing shows at the catacombs with rock groups and rap groups. Yes. It didn't matter. I would hop on stage with anybody, and I was one of the only young ladies getting up there rapping that way. And shout out to my homeboy Micah, who owned a Christian bookstore. And so his family owned and worked at a Christian bookstore, right? So I would go over there. They would have concerts there all the time. And that's kind of how I cut my teeth. In my 20s, I got into slam. And then I started hosting events. Then I started teaching around 2009. And so now and since 2009, I've been an arts educator, and now I have an official title as an arts educator at the Carver, which kind of brings us into what we'll be talking about in just a few minutes. But that is really my background. I was Poet Laureate of San Antonio from 2020 to 2023 during the pandemic years. And it was a lot of just trying to inform people and keep them encouraged. And the CDC was changing their guidelines every 2 weeks. And they were like, write a poem about that. And then we were going through the whole event of Black Lives Matter, and we were going through the changing of presidents and things that happened in the nation. And so we, it's like focus on all of these things and try to figure out what art discipline that I practice that works for this moment to speak to whatever the issue is.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I think it's something about art that's really beautiful is that we get a chance to give language to people that don't have it.
Ooh, come on. Yeah.
And so it's really cool to, especially like during those 2020 years, the years of 2020 and the pandemic and all of that, all the racial stuff that was going on. It was just,
so many things.
It was a lot happening, and the voice of the artist, it was just like, it was so powerful. Even then, because it's just like
we felt the weight of it.
So many things, and even now, right? Like I feel like our country is struggling as far as unity is concerned.
Yeah, I mean,
so a lot of just we just give voice to people that don't have it. I think it's kind of cool. Okay, so church kid, you grew up doing all the. How did you get connected to LSC? Like, was that a
It was a church thing.
Okay.
So I went to New Creation Christian Fellowship growing up, and before the Grahams started Now Word, they were under and still a part of the Interdependent Council of the Kingdom Council. I don't know. It has a really long title. I apologize to anybody from NCCF who I am messing up the title
No
of that.
smoke. But
before Pastor Graham started Now Word, he was an elder at New Creation, and Brandon and I were homies. We were rapping together. And that's when we started LSC. It was like there was a few of us that did it for fun and looked cool. And then there were people who were like serious about it. And Brandon and I were both very serious about hip hop. He wanted to do more of the production aspect of it. And you know, that makes sense now that he's like working with coaches and all that stuff that he does now. So he was in the scene, but he kind of like wanted to be behind the scenes. But we were working together. He introduced me to Larry, or Lawrence Scott, Dr. Scott now. And Lawrence was like an RA at St. Mary's back then. And so we started by just like backing Larry up. We were like his hype guys, hype girl, hype. And then we were like, okay, we're going to write some raps to your songs. And now we're going to write our own album as a group. And then we started doing what I would call the Chitlin circuit of the Christian community on back roads, farm to market roads of Texas. Because you know how big Texas is. If you don't live in Texas, it is 8 hours in any direction of travel.
Where did you go? I mean, so okay, so you said the catacombs, right? I mean, that was one that we all frequented.
Right.
I remember actually Brandon got me my first gig with the Resurrected Soldiers at Paper Tiger.
Very nice.
And it was the White Rabbit at the time.
And
it was some kind of
altogether.
thing that he put together. It was a production deal. He put it all together, and there was really nobody in there except for the artist. But we all had a blast.
Yeah.
Because there was a ton of artists in there.
Because it was like we had 75 people on the roster to perform, and so we all entertained each other, right? Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Where did y'all perform?
Any church. I don't even know how these, because this was predating even like
Social.
MySpace.
Yes.
Like, so I don't know how these churches found out about us. People were, excuse me, people were sending us record contracts, and I'm talking about like Grape Street. Sending us record contracts. Grape Tree. Yes, that's right. Grape Tree.
What?
Yeah, they sent us a record contract. Yeah. So we got an artist development deal with Cross Movement. We signed. So we were getting record contracts from all over the nation.
Too.
But we were in Lavernia, we were in Houdsville, we were in every podunk town you could think of in the state of Texas. Conrad, I don't know. We were just going places, and Lawrence was driving. We were in like a Thunderbird or whatever he had. It was like a small convertible, like 2-door vehicle. Could you imagine my big butt, Brandon's a big butt, and Lawrence in a 2-door car, like sports car, driving all over. And he had a stick shift. So none of us could drive but him. He was
oh, come on.
Early 2000s. Man, what a time to be alive.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. I didn't know that part. I mean, I knew that we were all like, so my group too, we went to Hallettsville. We went to, I think we did Lavernia too. We were going to, it was all these
every Texas town. And I'm like, how did these people even know we existed?
I don't know.
But they called us. They got our
Some
number.
of it was because of y'all, because we
were sending out information. We were hustling them.
Yeah, and y'all would invite us, or I know Brandon would like invite us to some of the shows.
Yeah, because we were very critical of the rap groups. We were like, who's doing it right in the city of San Antonio? And we always rode with y'all because y'all were always professional. Y'all showed up in y'all's camouflage on time, and you did your raps. Yes.
We were absolutely nuts, and we'll have to get into that another time. But,
not today.
Right.
We can fast forward to like how we came back together and started doing stuff together a few years ago. Man. That was great. Thank you.
Like I think it was just God's timing and providence, and so I, stopped with the group and everything, started doing my own stuff, and then I feel like God really started blessing that. But I would always keep an eye on like what you're doing, because back when we were coming up, like there was Christian and there was secular, right? And if you weren't doing the Christian stuff, you were in the secular world and you sold out and you did all this. And so here I am doing like the Christian hip hop stuff, and I'm like looking at Vocab, and she's like Poet Laureate. Oh, now she's doing stuff with the city. Now she's doing this. Now she's doing that. It's like, and I knew you well enough to know like your heart to say like,
thank you.
You know, you're not gonna move your morals or change or anything like that.
My music's still clean.
Yeah. Like
I mean, you could call it R&B, you could call it inspiration. I don't necessarily consider myself a Christian artist. I can't put gospel on there, but you're going to always hear God and the word of God show up in my work.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be clean.
Yeah.
I said, your granny can listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
your kids.
I love, you know, because it wasn't until later on for me that I felt okay with actually giving my perspective instead of just Bible verbatim.
Straight
you know
up,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, you know, I have a unique perspective and I don't have to be so like preachy about it. I can just be like, okay, this is who I am. And God, obviously, he shapes everything that I'm doing, right?
Yeah,
like
the truth is in you, it's going to come out.
Yeah. He's my source. That's not going to go away, but there is, I think what really got me is I was trying to be good news to the city. And I noticed that the way that I was talking was not it wasn't translating. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and then that started challenging my own thoughts about like, okay, what does it actually mean to reach people who didn't grow up how I grew up? What does it mean to actually not just reach people, but actually have conversation and dialogue, right? So it's not just me talking at people.
Exactly.
It's me conversating with people, learning from people, and all of that, and we're growing together. And some people just cannot get that, especially like some Christians is just like, I'm not going to learn from you. You're going to learn from me. And it's just like that. It's very arrogant, and people don't rock with that.
It's this self-righteousness that a lot of people carry with them. And I feel like it's dangerous because it usually leads to people falling.
Yeah.
And then you look up and folks, I mean, how many people that we listened to when we were young people, we find out years later the stories about them behind us. It is devastating. And it's messing up people's witness. God is always true. He's always clear. But the people who say they represent him and would like dying on these hills of
right.
Just like, man, I don't want that to happen.
How did you jump you know, because I feel like that is a jump, like to go from like Christian hip hop. It wasn't just Christian; it was a brand of Christian hip hop, like the cross movement type stuff. And there was that brand of like, hey, you got to have Bible, you got to be theologically sound in your raps and all of that. So how did you go from that to like working with the city and doing pieces about stuff outside of just theology? You know what I'm saying?
It was definitely a progression. It didn't happen overnight. Like I said, I took some time to do slam, and when you're in the slam community, you're on a team with several other people, and most slam, they are highly critical of Christianity, because they see a lot of I don't want to get into the particulars, but they're highly critical of it. And so trying to be a Christian in a team of people who are like critical of Christianity, it's very interesting. And being careful about navigating what I represented in the poems that I wrote and what I said on stage and the performance aspect of it. And then going from there, people would just offer me opportunities and it would be a challenge to me. So like, for instance, I got a prophecy from a woman named Prophetess Sharon Billings. And she was like, I see you writing plays. I see you doing theater. And at that time, had not really done any of that. I had written poems that looked theatrical, but I hadn't written any of that. And then within 2 weeks, the Carver called me. And this was like 2017, going into 2018. The Carver called me and they were like, hey, we want you to bring us a show. And the show that I did, I was called the Bad Mama Jamma Mixtape. It's sold out. But it's like looking for the void and addressing the void.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Where is there a void for people to speak truth to power and speak to what's happening in the world? Because it's as writers, that's what we're doing. We're addressing social conditions and sometimes we're diagnosing issues. Sometimes we're offering a prognosis. Sometimes we're offering the solution and the cure, whatever we're offering. But it was just doors would open where people would ask me, hey, will you come host the show? Will you come do this? And, I found myself deeply embedded in the poetry community, whether it be hosting or teaching or whatever. And when the call comes for Poet Laureate, something like that, someone has to recommend you. You can write the letter and give it to them, be like, hey, can you turn in this letter? But basically, there's a call that the Department of Arts and Culture puts out, and the people that judge the process, they don't even live in the state of Texas. So they're basically looking at what you look like online and what you represent. And they may make a couple calls, but it's basically, what is your reputation built for you? And they decide.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. I love what you talk about, like finding the void. I mean, to me, that's like good news. Like you're becoming good news to the city, and that kind of like brings us around to what's happening now, is because I had to make that jump to go from okay, I'm doing this music and it was Christian and it's taking off, like in these spaces that I'm able to tour and all this kind of stuff. And I just kept feeling convicted about like my city, kept feeling convicted about like being a missionary, essentially, right? Like, what does it look like to actually talk with people and live with people? Not just talk with people, but live with people. Yeah. And sometimes we can, I know for me, it was very easy to be isolated in my own bubble, but there was actually a scripture that really like informed my, what I'm doing now. And it just talked about seeking the peace and the prosperity of the city. And then there's a part in there that says, if the city prospers, you prosper.
Nice.
And it's like I'm trying to do stuff on an island in my own little bubble, while the city really needs good news in certain areas. The city needs community. The city needs like arts education. The city needs all these things. So how can I get out of my bubble? How can I fill the void, like you're saying, and be good news in those areas? And so, yeah, that kind of translates into what we're doing right now. So how did you get connected to the Carver because you're in community engagement and arts education? Those are two big titles.
Yeah, and it's all my long title at my job. Yeah, yes. Working for the city. Yeah. So how did I get into it? It really was being super close to the proximity of the Carver. I was always up there doing shows for different people, and then they asked me to be their artist in residence in 2020 when the pandemic started, and I had to do all of my artist residency work on video. I did a vignette series called the Breathe series, and I was addressing very specific issues that were happening in the nation and in the city. And so after that, doing the Bad Mama Jamma a couple times, I was watching the people that worked at the Carver, and the position that I hold now, I knew this guy named Andrew that held this position, and he left, and I was like, man, I wonder if I could I had a little conversation with myself. I was like, I wonder if I could do that. And then someone else filled the position. Her name was Rosalind. Rosalind left. And the position was empty, and I had just retired from juvenile detention center, and
I remember that.
I was sitting up, my account was dwindling to nothing, and I was like, that position is still open, but I was like, I don't on paper I don't completely qualify for it, but I made some calls. I was like, and Ernie, who is a cultural center supervisor, he was like, Vocab, you can do this job. He was like, you can definitely do this job. Call Cassandra and put your resume together, send it in, and I just had to have faith, and I was like, I feel like this is my job, and everything in my spirit said, that is your job. And there were 49 applicants. I got a job. Yeah. And it's hard to get a city job. And anybody who's applied for a job with the city of San Antonio, it is hard. And you're waiting, and it is a long waiting game. And I'm grateful to be in this position, and I've been teaching for years. But it's cool because it was wide open for me to create what I want.
Yes.
And I've been looking at what I feel like the city needs, what the East Side needs, and what we can bring. And I'm excited about it. I'm loving the idea of artist development and offering artists tools and resources, because that's what we need. We all broke and struggling. Some people are doing all right. They're not broke and struggling, but it's not like resources are readily available, especially in this political climate. They cut funding for the arts severely at every turn. That's usually the first thing to go. Yeah. And so artists are like,
yeah. And we've had this conversation too about like arts and funding and everything. And it's like, on the one hand, yes, it is super crazy because there were livelihoods that depended on specific like government, funding for the arts and museums, things like that.
The National Endowment of the Arts. God bless them.
Yeah. And so, so on that one hand, it's hard, but on the other side, it's like it forces us in a way to be creative. Not in a way, it forces us to be creative about not just about the art that we put out, but how it gets funded and all of these different things. And so, challenges like that there's no solution without a challenge, without a problem. And so it forces us to be solution minded. And that's what I feel like we're doing, even with creative nights and all of that. It's just like, it's super cool. So, community engagement, when you talk about like community engagement, what ways, just pretend like the person who's watching knows absolutely nothing about community engagement. So as a community engagement person, what does that look like for you? Like how do you engage the community?
Well, there's a couple different types of engagement. There's outreach, which is we go out into community.
Yes.
And we have a vehicle at the Carver that's called the Creative Cruiser that literally can set up anywhere. And we put up tent, we put up tables, we hire a teaching artist, and we're doing artistic practices from visual arts work to physical movement to music. All of it can be provided, it's whatever we dream up. And then there's in-reach, what I like to call in-reach, where we bring the people to us, where we host events at our campus. And we're like, what would community be interested in attending? Okay, let's create something that would, and make it free so that they don't got to pay money to be there, and they'll show up. And what we've created and what you created before you came to us and what we've continued to work with on together, Creative Nights, I think is very unique and very interesting because it's just as educational as it is entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think that those two things are very necessary when you're doing artistic practices in the form of outreach. You need to engage people's mind. They need to walk away doing something that they may not have ever done before and challenge themselves, because it's building their confidence. And that's the goal to me, is to build people's confidence to say, I'm going to try something I've never tried before, and I don't know what to expect when it's finished, but here it is. Now I have something that I can take with me. I have evidence of doing something, whether it be a painting or a dance choreography, or I've learned how to play an instrument and do a drum circle, whatever we did that day. And I think it's so cool. I love it.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why we structured Creative Nights the way that we did was because, again, I love what you said about filling the void, right? When we think about San Antonio and we think about education, we know that education is a big deal, right? Especially arts education, big deal. However, education here in San Antonio, I've noticed culturally, it's like people are just happy if you finish high school. Like the families are happy if their kids finish high school.
Sometimes they're the first generation to finish. You
know what I'm saying? And so for me, I was like, okay, what does education have to look like in order for it to be engaging? And so because of that, we put artist spotlight at the beginning, artist spotlight at the end, sandwich it with education, and then the education not be a person at a a person at a podium.
It's not dry.
But more of a conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Even this platform here, like, we learn through conversations. And
it's got to be participatory and hands-on.
Yes, it has to be. And so even what we're adding with this, with the artist challenge, it's participatory. Like, that's the whole thing. And we live in a blue collar city, and it's like hands-on. It's got to be hands-on. The learning's got to be hands-on. And so I love the fact that we're doing it. Okay, so we're going to break down Creative Nights, what we're actually doing.
Yes.
And I'm excited because our stories are like finally coming back together for a really cool moment. And so we tried to do Creative Nights quarterly, like last year?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot.
It was. We managed to get 3 done.
Yeah.
But it wasn't without struggle. And sometimes it's just scheduling. Sometimes it's simply that. It's like, when is the Little Carver available for booking? Because it's such a resource to community. And it's one of the cheaper places to rent in the city of San Antonio. And it comes with so much stuff already provided in the space that people are like, it's flying. The dates are flying off the shelf. So it was just like getting dates on the books, and then let's structure the show out. And it wasn't without, so much has been happening in your life and in Gabriel's life. He went through some health challenges. Thank God he's better.
Yes.
Yes. And then it ramped up for the 2 of us. Then it was like, okay, now we got some health stuff going on in our families and in our lives. And so thank God we were able to put it together. And it looks like you come in, there's an ability to get some shopping done because we have vendors, and I love stimulating the local economy of artists who have goods to provide.
Come on.
So you can do some shopping, and there's some time for networking because that is hard. We act like we don't know how to socialize with each other sometimes anymore. And then we kick it off. AZ is there providing awesome sounds and awesome music. AZ. And we've been great because we've been showing artists how to register their music, how to maintain the integrity of their socials, how to create content. And now we're about to add in this legal aspect thanks to Texas Bar Foundation providing us some grant money. Yeah. Passing the baton to you to take over the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, well, that grant thing was huge. I'm going to be honest with you, friend to friend. I didn't know how to feel about it at first. I was like, because we were doing the whole Creative Nights thing, and then all of a sudden Cassandra was just like, hey, I think we get some money for this. And you were saying this as well. And sometimes I feel like things get a little complicated when you add money to it, but you guys,
always.
Yeah. but y'all have been
transparent and clear.
Walking in integrity. You know what I'm saying? And that's not always been the case for, other business relationships that I've been in. So I'm just like, do we want to go down this route or not? And, but it has been such a blessing. And people are going to
see, I think they're going to see what I'm excited to get to is showing artists, listen, you spend so much of your own personal resources on your arts career, and you, at the end of the day, you're depleted. You're depleted resource-wise, you're depleted mentally and emotionally, and you just feel like giving up. But then here are people that are going to tell you, nah, you need to be writing this stuff off on your taxes and claiming this stuff. This is how you do the business aspect of it. This is what legally, how you can protect yourself as an artist. And I love the fact that we can share that with people from licensed professionals that know what they're talking about. Because I don't know what I'm talking about completely, but somebody else does. And we're bringing them in so they can sit down and have the conversation. And when we wrote the grant, I was like, Jarrell, Gabe, here is the grant. This is what it says. This is what the budget says.
Yes.
I'm not hiding nothing from y'all. And this is what we intend to do. And it's actually what we're doing.
Yes, we're actually doing it. And it's just such a blessing. And so, so with that, we're also adding an artist challenge to this. So in previous years, basically what we've done is we've just had oh Lord. In previous years, what we've done is we've actually had the artist spotlights. And of course, we've had the vendors, we've had all that kind of stuff. Now we're adding this artist challenge, and we're inviting artists from all throughout the city to come in and actually
all the genres.
All the genres. Music, bands,
I think we even have a dance crew that might want to put something together. They were talking in the chat on Facebook saying they want to bring a dance crew to it. I was like, that would be a nice element to add to Rise. Yeah.
I didn't even, where was that? Was that on y'all's page?
NXG was talking about it. Odious was in the comments with Marquise.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were talking about it.
Yeah. They're amazing. We actually had them at our last creative nights too, which is like super
and it was
cool.
Phenomenal when they showed up, and they did a tribute to Laser, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Laser. Yeah.
So that guy's name? I'm so sorry. I'm old, guys. I'm sorry. Remembering people's names is bad for me. Well, but they did a tribute to a gentleman that passed.
Yes. Yeah, and it was such a beautiful night. And so this artist challenge, we're opening it up to bands. We're opening it up to even just solo, singer-songwriters. Yep. And what we're offering is the way that it's going to look is July 25th. We're going to lay out what this competition actually looks like. And then from there, submissions start. And then we have another one in October, and that's going to be semi kind of like semifinals. And then January comes around. We're going to do like quarterfinals of the last 4 people. And then the last 2 people are going to be gracing the stage at our Rise Music Festival. And I'm really excited about that. And the cool thing is that these artists, they're not paying to be a part of this.
No, not pay to play.
Yes, it is not that.
It's when you're in.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Bars. And so yeah, I love the fact that they don't have to pay to be a part of it or whatever. And the whole thing is like growth. Like we really want to encourage the growth, you know?
Yeah, we want to see progression as artists, and it isn't easy to organize. It's not super difficult, but it's not easy to organize. And Jarrell is just, I applaud your mind, and I applaud the fact that you don't let things get stagnant. And thank you so much for always pushing the bar and asking people to challenge themselves as artists. And it's like, what can we, because people, yeah, it's one thing to sit in your room and write the song, or sit around with your band and write the song. And even if I don't know if you're doing home studios, I don't know if you're going to a recording studio. It's one thing to have a mixed mastered product, but it's another thing to get in front of people and present that work. And does the consistency line up from how it sounds on air, in the ether, to what it looks like in person? And I think we've lost our way with that. Yeah. And then even the way we promote ourselves, is the branding and all that content consistent with what we say we are about as artists? And it's got to line up. And we want to help you get there if you're not there.
Yeah. And so I'm excited about it. I think, one of the things about being good news to our arts community is creating wealth. And so with our Rise Festival, you were a part of our Rise Festival last year.
Yes.
So I'm going to speak as an artist, right? Sometimes when I see things like this, challenges and all that, I'm like, what do they want from me? That's the mindset sometimes. It's like, what do they want from me? Are they trying to like build their platform at my expense? Are they trying to do this? Are they trying to do that? And it's just like, I will say from the Rise aspect of things and Carver, SA Creatives, like we're not trying to take, we're trying to give. So without any extra assistance, Rise Festival last year, we sold over 700 tickets. And so people throughout the day were coming in, doing our music workshops, our the concerts,
meeting with vendors. There's a place to eat. You could bring your kids. It was a safe and fun environment.
People, Vocab, I don't know if you know this, but people, some of our vendors made thousands
Oh yeah, because I was buying stuff.
Yeah,
that day.
Yeah.
It was incredible. It was an incredible shopping opportunity as well as just community event, and it felt good. And the representation of the music genre, like you had a wide range of artists across the genre and subgenres represented, and everybody was giving their all on stage, like really showing out. They showed up and they showed out.
It was beautiful.
If you come to this experience, you're going to get something really unique, and you're getting an opportunity to support local.
Yes, exactly. And so I love it. I'm excited. One of the things I want to say in closing is I love your heart for the East Side.
Thank you.
God has really given you that. He's dropped that in me and my wife's heart too, especially like downtown East Side. I want to ask you about Project Marvel. Okay. And you don't have to be an expert on it.
I'm not an expert.
Yeah. You don't have to be.
Because I tuned it out. I'm like,
one of the things that really, so for us, for Rise, it's very strategic that we're having our festival downtown East Side, right? We want to be a presence there. With the Carver, like, have there been conversations about, okay, what's going to happen? What does our influence need to look like as these plans for Project Marvel are coming, and is it even going to happen? Like, what are those kind of discussions? Are y'all having those discussions?
Conversations that we've had in my couple of years, because I'm coming up on 2 years as a Carver employee, City of San Antonio employee. Conversations that we're having isn't so much about Project Marvel specifically, but what is the growth and the economic impact and the marketplace impact and the educational impact of change. San Antonio is changing, and it's changing rapidly. And in light of everything that's happening from the political spectrum to the economic spectrum and the growth, how is it affecting the East Side, and how can we as the Carver be always in this conversation, and how are we building community with the businesses and the people around us? And it's always for us about providing arts to community and making it as accessible as possible. We have the cheapest classes out of everybody in the city. I check. We got the cheapest classes. There are companies that offer a theatrical workshop camp for 4 days for $350 for 7 hours. We have an 8-hour camp for 3 weeks that is $375. So we are by far and large. And we have a reduced rate for families of lower income. We always have reduced rates, and all you have to do is prove your economic status, and we will give you that reduced rate, and it is only $75 or $90 to attend. If that is the case. We do not try to nickel and dime people. We're not out here trying to make money. We just trying to make sure we can sustain ourselves and always give back. And I care about the people, and I see people, they got 3 or 4 kids. They can't afford no $375 for a camp. If we can offer them this stuff that is already sitting at we got it. So let's give it. And I think about that all the time. And I feel like as much as we are concerned with growing in San Antonio, realistically, people got kids. And we could not be robbing these people blind, sucking all their resources out so that they can enjoy their lives.
Yeah. Well, this is a big conversation, and I've enjoyed this conversation. I feel like
Same.
I might have to bring you on again at some point, but I think the East Side for me, the conviction is like, hey, how do we stimulate that economic growth, right?
And make people feel safe on the East Side, because people were like, they associate the East Side with a lot of like crime or danger, or this the black people, like they're scared of black people. And I'm like, we should not be afraid of we should be able to be outside on the East Side and feel just fine, and we have security.
Yeah.
But the times my car has gotten broken into, I was on the north side. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
And I grew up mostly north side. I grew up northeast and north side. And I was born on the west side. But I grew up north. And so it's this idea of we need to feel safe and we need to feel like we can get quality. The quality doesn't need to diminish because you go to this side of town. And when we hire people at the Carver, we always bring the best. And the quality of the kids' performance and their improvement. People are bringing their kids from the north side to the east side to get our education that we're offering over there. So so it's just like you see the value of it.
Yeah.
So invest in it.
Yeah, that's good. I want to shout out Forward Progress.
Yay.
Love Deanna Brown, and we're trying to, with Rise even, like we're trying to. Yes. Eastside Youth Content Creators Program.
Yeah.
And so they were actually a part of our festival last year too, and just love them. But I think, bringing people together, especially on the east side, bringing businesses together. Janelle and I are doing that. Like,
yes, you are. Your wife is a worker. That woman her administrative anointing is oily. She can organize.
Yeah. And so like just bringing like those people together, even, churches, there's a church on the east side, actually near the SB, City Tribe, friends with them. And so just trying to bring people together to say, hey, we're all one community. Like if we're on the east side, like there's no reason why they shouldn't know what's going on at the Carver or whatever, because we're all in the same
proximity.
Yeah.
Shout out to Squeezers too.
Yeah. I don't know what Squeezers is.
Oh, okay, we got to go get. I have been remiss. I got to get you either a juice or a smoothie or a fruit bowl from them or an acai bowl, whatever. They have great juices, cold pressed juice. Man,
are they in St. Paul Square?
They're not in St. Paul Square. They're actually right next to the East Side HEB off of New Braunfels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Black owned. Actually, his wife isn't black, but they're a multiracial couple.
Yeah.
Keith and Alex, love them to pieces, and they are so like about it and offering quality juices. And so there's lots of cool businesses on the east side, and it's at first you're like, where are they at? Some places are closing down. The Dakota is in a struggle to keep their doors open, the Dakota Ice House, but these places are worth it. Us showing up for them.
Yeah, was through stuff like Creative Nights, and I'm glad that we're doing that partnership. I'm hoping that we can not only stimulate that, creative economy through what we're doing, but also like bring people together and just hopefully this thing just gets bigger and bigger,
Yes.
So excited.
Y'all challenge yourselves. Come join the challenge.
Yeah.
Come do it. And be
Artist Challenge, July 25th is where you get all the information for it.
At the Little Carver.
Look, we are giving away thousands of dollars in prizes. We're giving away, a potential opportunity to perform at our Rise Music Festival, but then we're also connecting with community partners as well to give away a package for the people who win. So
it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, we're talking like photography, we're talking even stuff down to branding sessions and all of that kind of stuff. So it's huge. So, and it doesn't cost anything. You just gotta bring your best. So that's it. Vocab, thanks for the conversation.
Thank you,
looking forward to Creative Nights and glad our stories have come full circle.
Yes, Jarrell, it has always been a blessing to be in community with you, man. Like, this is family, and I love it. And so thank y'all for having me. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.